Shalom, call all y'all about Shin. Not just looking at the news and looking at a few Akim videos, just checking out different stuff that's going on. I happened to click on. I was on Twitter, just seeing certain stuff that was trending. Now you got this thing called Our Lady of Guadalupe, which the lesson I want to get into is talking about beware of strange and diverse doctrines, because ain't nowhere in the scriptures where they talk about worshiping Mary or none of that. That's not biblical. Now, this backstory, where this come from, is it says in early history, it says following the conquest in 1519 through 1521, the Spanish destroyed a temple of the mother goddess, which ain't no goddesses, man. You got these women be like, oh, I'm a goddess and all that. Ain't none of that shit, man. You always have these women that always try to put themselves on a pedestal, and then you read the stories on what happened. But it says a mother goddess is a goddess who represents or is a personification of nature, motherhood, fertility, creation, destruction, or who embodies the bounty of the earth. When equated with the earth or the natural world, such goddesses are sometimes referred to as Mother Earth or as Earth Mother. Just bunch of nonsense, man. That's not biblical. You don't hear nothing about no goddesses and none of that shit in the Bible. You always hear about the kingdom. You don't hear about no queendom or none of that. But basically, this temple that was destroyed is a temple of the mother goddess Tanazin at Tepeyac outside Mexico City, and built a chapel dedicated to the Virgin on the same site. So all they was doing is just re-resurrecting the same spirit. And it says the beloved mother of the gods. It said was celebrated around winter solstice, which when you go back into Saturnalia and all this stuff tie into that. That's why I want to bring this out and talk about this in this lesson. I'm going to go in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 9. It says, let me scroll down. It says, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. And when they're talking about meats, it's not talking about actual food. It's just talking about knowing stuff that's too heavy for you. Like when you have milk scriptures. Let me get that. It's in the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 14. Now, when it's talking about the meats, it's not talking about actual food, which also can be used as at the same time. Because when you're a baby, most babies, they're not eating no steak and shit like that. They gotta get built up. They gotta build up their digestive system and their teeth and all that different stuff. But in this, what it's talking about is a parable, basically saying the doctrine of knowing certain information can be considered a meat. Because if you tell somebody about reincarnation, that's going into meat scriptures. When you read the scripture about when the scribes and the Pharisees was talking to Yahweh Shai and they was asking, is this not the son of David? That would be considered meat. Because most people be like, well, hold on. When he born from Mary and Joseph, how he the son of David? Solomon was the son of David. But if you trace that lineage all the way back, it's just going in the reincarnation, but most people can't get that because that would be considered meat. Milk scriptures would be considered something that, like the name of Jacob being changed to Israel, and the meaning of the name Jacob, or the name of Israel, and what's the meaning of it? The name Jacob meaning supplanter, and the name Israel meaning the prince of the power. That would be considered milk. Now, but right here in the scripture it says, Hebrews chapter 5, verse 14, it says, but strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercise to discern both good and evil. So it's not talking about food. It's talking about, being able to discern what's right and what's false. And this shit right here is false. Because they wildin', man, for this Guadalupe shit. And I should have sent a picture, man, because I had took this picture one night. I was walking in the rain, and it's this church in the area where I stay at, and it's called Our Lady of the Lake, which they basically going into the same shit too. When you look at the front stained glass image at the bottom of it. And buddy, let me see if I can look it up and pull it up on here. I might can find it online. Let me see. Just to show what they really into. Yeah, Esau, these Edomites, they're not bringing out these scriptures, man. They got people blind. They go in there and participate in all this folly and don't do no reading, man. They might hear one scripture and that's it. I'm trying to see if I can get an actual good image of this. Because the one I had on my phone, you can actually see. Basically, right there on the window, but you can't really see it on there because I had the sun shining on there. But the actual bottom part of it is the all-seeing out, the pyramid down there. Now, why would they have that on there? What that got to do with the scriptures? Let's see if I can zoom in on this. Yeah, you got a lot of people, they go participate in this stuff because it look appeasing and they don't really research and see what's really going on. That's why the scriptures say be not carried away with diverse doctrines. Because, man, hey, it's serious, man. This ain't no joke. Certain brothers, they might laugh, about certain stuff because you gotta have a sense of humor. You can't always be ultra serious with this. But this information is very serious because they've been lying this whole time. I'm trying to find a good image of this. If I don't find it, I might just post it as a thumbnail picture, so it'll just be on there. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I do because I don't want to make this video too long trying to find this picture. I just want to get into the main topics. So that's what I do. I'll post it up on it. But reading on, it says even many of the newly converted to Catholicism natives then continue to come from afar to worship often addressing the renamed native image, because they renamed this image. This is not what this really come from. It says as if she were the Virgin Mary, which they had known as their Tanat Zen. So you got this so-called deity that they worship, this mother goddess called the Tanat Zen. Then they rearranged it and renamed it. Well, when you go into the scriptures, though, let me see what else I want to read into. I'm going to go back up to verse 13. I'm going to just read back down. It says, in the book of Hebrews chapter 5, verse 13, it says, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. So when you're young, like when I was a little bit younger and I didn't really know this whole Bible like that, certain stuff I can understand, certain stuff I didn't understand. Like I understood the mark of the beast, the RFID chip being the mark of the beast. To some people that might seem deep, but that's really a milk scripture. But if you ain't really meant to get it, it's going to be a stumbling block to you. and you just ain't gonna be able to understand it. But knowing stuff about Elijah being John the Baptist and King David being Peter, that would be considered meat scriptures. Now you read in the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 14. It say, "With a strong meat belongs to them that are full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil, knowing who the Edomites are." Just knowing that history, knowing why Yahweh Shem Yahushua, or ultimately why Yahweh was displeased with Solomon, knowing that he ain't trip on him for having a certain amount of women, which a lot of people they bug out over that because he made the Lord mad because he had 1,000 women. No, he wasn't mad at that. He was mad because he started worshiping the gods they were serving when you read into the scriptures. But you gotta have discernment to understand that. Now, I'm gonna go back into this real quick. I want to say it's in the book of Mark, if I'm mistaken. Let me look this up. Now, back to this word virgin. I'm gonna go into this word, and then I'm trying to make this too much longer. But if it goes on and it goes on, it says in the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 16, it says, "And Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom Yahushua, who is also called Hamashiach." And I'm just reading it in the Hebrew. I ain't reading the Jesus word and the Christ word, because that's not what they was saying back then in them times. They weren't back in Nazareth saying Christ, or they weren't saying Jesus back then. That's not the words they was using, and that's a stumbling block to people too. And it says, read on. It says in verse 17, and I'm just going into this because it's talking about the forefathers, even though it mentioned Mary also, but it mainly focused on the forefathers. It says, "So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David until the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations, and from the carrying away into Babylon until Hamashiach are 14 generations." So we always come back. Just like now, right now, the people we see on this earth, we've been here before. It's no new thing in the sun, like the scripture says. Now, let me read up in this. Now, this is the part where people get bitten out of shape of, because they be like, "Oh, Mary's a virgin. Gabriel came down and touched her and got her pregnant." Now, this what really happened, because you have to really read into it. It's in the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 20. I'm going to start at verse 26, and I'm going to just read on down. Because angels don't have sex. They ain't got no reason to have no sex. That's not their purpose. Angels have a purpose. And it don't involve sex. Well, anyway, it says in the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 26, it says, "In the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from Yahweh unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth." And most of the time, Gabriel was always sent to be a messenger, to send a certain message. Now, reading on, in verse 27, it says, "To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary." Now, let's go into the definition of the word virgin, because you have numerous definitions. It's clear that she wasn't no virgin, because to have a baby, you gotta have sex. But people so stupid, they look at the part where it say Gabriel came down. That's all they see. Oh, the angel came down and touched her and did whatever. They don't even say none of that. But right here in the first definition, it says a person who has never had sexual intercourse, which that could be a virgin. But when you go into it even more, it says a maiden, an unmarried girl, because she was unmarried. It says a maid, a chaste woman, and then it goes down even more. It just says the mother of Jesus right there. I'm just reading it verbatim. It said the Virgin Mary, the zodiacal sign. That's going to that zodiac sign. But the main thing right here says a young unmarried woman, because back then, men they would get young women. They would get women that was of age, of course, but she was still young, younger than the average woman. And most of the time, they would be a virgin. So for them to have this baby, they had to have sex. Now, when you read on some more, I'm gonna go into it, and it says, in verse 28, it said, an angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. So she was, she was favored. But it ain't saying about worshiping her. That's where you get this damn Guadalupe shit from when they want to go worship. You're supposed to be worshiping the Most High and the Son, not no Mary. But reading on in verse 29, it says, and when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this be. Because she was shocked, because she knew, through the Spirit, she knew that men were, the leaders, the head. And they was the ones getting that salutation and stuff like that, not no women. But the reason why, because she had Yahweh Shai in her womb. So, reading on in verse 30, it says, and the angel said unto her, fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with Yahweh. And you go to verse 31, it says, and behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb. How do you conceive a baby in your womb? With seed. It ain't even no angel waving his hand. Which if the Most High wanted to do it like that, he could have did it like that. He could have sent the angel down and be like, look, just wave this stick over Mary and the baby pop out. But it wasn't like that. Because then that would make the other scriptures that talk about the Lord coming out of the lineage of David, the root of Jesse. That would make that false. When we read on, it says, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahweh Shai, because it's not Jesus, it's Yahweh Shai. And you read on some more. It says, he shall be great, and he shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord Yahweh shall give unto him the throne of his father David. Now, when you read this right here, I'm going to go into another scripture since I'm going into the meat scriptures. His father David, who was David's son? It was Solomon. So the Lord was Solomon. He came back though as Yahweh Shai. He came back through that same lineage. After all them generations, he just came right back down there. I'm going to go read another scripture. I'm going to back that up. All right, it's in the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 42. Now it says, I'm gonna start at verse 41 and just read on down. It say, while the Pharisees gathered together, Yahweh asked them, and it say Jesus there, but you know, you should know by now that the letter J ain't exist back then in the ancient times. But it says in verse 42, it says, saying, what think ye of Hamashiach? Whose son is he? They say unto him, the son of David. So even these Pharisees, they knew about reincarnation. They knew through certain generations, you always come back. That's why most people, when they have kids now, they might have, you know, your great grandfather might die or something, and then a new baby be born in the family. And he grew up a little bit, and they be, oh, he started to look like his great grandpa. Because more than likely, that is the great grandpa. It just coming right back. But with that would be considered mixed Christians, because most people they can't put that together. And I've been around some different pastors and deacons and stuff like this, and I would break this down to them, and some of them actually get it, and they was like they ain't really know about that, but it makes sense. Then you have the ones that want to scoff and go, I don't know about reincarnation. It don't actually say the word reincarnation right there, but it ain't supposed to say the word reincarnation, because you know why? And we're going to this. And that's why it's written a certain way, because this ain't meant for everybody to get anyway. It wouldn't be special if everybody can get it. It's in the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 10. And I'm going to just end this off on this. I don't want to go on too much longer with this, but the main point I want to make, beware of these strange and diverse doctrines. Because they out here, man. And some of them seem good, it seems sweet and appeasing. Because it's like, oh, maybe this could be right. Because they have little pictures and all this different stuff. But it's not, man. Hey, if the scriptures can cut it, then it ain't true. But it says in the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 10, it says, and he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Yahweh, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand. So if a person can't see this and they can't understand it, it's because they ain't fucking meant to. But Lord's willing, this is edifying. Call on Yahweh Hashem and Shalom to the elect. Oh, hey, and for the people that be offended at rude speech, man, grow up. Shalom.